JavaScript only has a few primitive data types, and we've already used one primitive, which is the string in our simple log messages, and we will uncover the others in this lesson. Now, all the strings that we have created up till this point, we have used the single quote character. We can actually create strings within JavaScript using the double quote as well, and at runtime there is no difference between these two. It's simply a matter of preference. I personally prefer to use single quotes wherever possible. Now, if the string that you are going to write contains a single quote on the inside, it is recommended that you use a double quote on the outside. And similarly, if you have a string that contains a double quote on the inside, then we recommend that you use a single quote on the outside. Now, you can actually put a single quote inside a single quote by using an escape character, which is backslash within JavaScript, and then using the single quote that way. And similarly, within a double quoted string, you can place a double quote by using backslash double quote, as we have done in this example. Now, another primitive data type that exists within JavaScript is the number data type, and this is actually always a 64-bit floating point. So of course, we can use it for integers, but the same data type supports fractions as well. And this is actually a signed value, which means that we can have positive as well as negative numbers within JavaScript. Now, because the number data type is a 64-bit value, there is an upper limit on the integers that we can store safely within this. But if we want to store integers which are as large as we want, for example, a Google value, we can do that with the big int data type that is provided by JavaScript. To represent a big int value within JavaScript, we simply write our integer and then add the suffix of the character n. Now, of course, because it doesn't have a fixed precision, it is not going to perform as nicely as the number data type, so only use it if you really need to. A key data type within JavaScript which plays a critical role in conditional logic is the Boolean data type, and this only has two possible literal values, which are either the literal true or the literal false. Undefined within JavaScript is a special value and a data type, which is the value that the JavaScript runtime will return when a variable hasn't been initialized. Another primitive value within JavaScript is the value null, and this is a value that JavaScript developers will use to denote a value that isn't present. For example, if you ask a function for a user profile, but the user isn't currently logged in, we can instead choose to return null to denote that we have no user to return. We will discuss the differences between null and undefined and how we can simplify these concepts in much greater detail later on. And finally, we have a symbol, which is a data type that you are very unlikely to use yourself, but exists as a part of core JavaScript to internally make things like iterables possible. The symbol type allows these internal implementations from leaking out to our normal codebase. And that's it. This is a nice cheat sheet of all of the primitives that exist within JavaScript. Now that we know what we have to look forward to, we will discuss lots of details of all of these primitives in their own dedicated lessons.